of Birkat Hamazon. Here we are, and we start off with the Ramban, who also speaks on the pasuk ve'achalta ve'savata uverachta. We said last class that that was the source, a biblical source. Sorry for Birkat Hamazon. And he says over here, what does it mean ve'achalta ve'savata uverachta? Also, ki tizkor avodat Mitzrayim ve'inui hamidbar, because you're going to remember the slavery of Mitzrayim and the difficulties and the suffering of the Midbar, and therefore, kasher tochal v'tisba be'eret hatova, when you're going to eat and you're going to be full and in this land, this great land of Eretz Israel, tevarech aleat Hashem. That's when you will bless God's name. And for that reason, okay, that in the blessing of Israel, which as we said was the second bracha, the blessing of Nodelecha Hashem Elokeinu. In that bracha, what do we mention? We mention the fact that Hashem took us out of Egypt. Al shehotzetanu me'eretz Mitzrayim uftitanu mibet avadim. We actually say this in the second blessing, as if to say, times were tough. You were in Egypt, you suffered slavery, and now you're in Israel. Now you're in the land, and you're enjoying a meal of freedom and of satiety, and you should bless Hakadosh Baruch Hu because of that. Speaking of blessing, it's interesting the words of the Kuzari. I thought this was, quite beautiful what he says over here, and although not really a direct connection to Birkat Hamazon, but it deals with the concept of blessings in general. I'll read it with you, and maybe we can talk about it in our Zoom classes coming up soon. The Kuzari writes, the constant practice of brachot will add sweetness to sweetness, readiness for receiving pleasure, as well as imagining its absence, together result in doubled pleasure. So not only you have the readiness because you're receiving the pleasure that you're about to have, okay, such as I'm saying a blessing on this fruit, and I know I love this mango or this peach, and I'm about to receive pleasure for that. Not only is that a pleasure that's coming, but I get to imagine and think what happens if I didn't have this mango, if I didn't have this fruit. That also brings me pleasure because now I have it. This is one of the benefits for those who are accustomed to saying brachot with thought and mental preparation. He's saying over here how important it is for a person to have kavanah and hachana. Kavanah is the thought process, the proper mental preparation, the thought, and the hachana is the mental preparation to get yourself in the state of mind. And he says, for example, the bracha of Shechayanu, the bracha of who Hashem gives us life and sustained us, automatically entertains the possibility of absence of life. Because when I recite the bracha of Shechayanu, now I start thinking, well, what if I didn't have life? What if I wasn't here? You come to appreciate the bracha so much more. And therefore, illness and death are easier to bear because they have already been considered. So therefore, I'm reciting Shechayanu. Every time I'm reciting Shechayanu, I'm thinking about my life. I'm thinking what happens if I wouldn't be living. And therefore, when it comes to the time that I do pass on after 120 years, it's easier to bear. I've already recognized the fact that I've went through life and I've enjoyed it. And you will ultimately realize that by rights you deserve no goodness, and then you will enjoy all your days on earth. Realizing what Hashem gives you, okay, you will come to say, you know what, maybe I don't deserve any of this. Look at all the amazing things I have. Did I really do that much in my life that I deserve all this bracha and all this blessing and goodness? So you'll come to enjoy all your days on the earth as a result of that. I thought this was a very, very strong piece from the Kuzari, written by Rabbi Yehuda Levi, to help us understand the importance of a blessing in general. We end with the Rambam in Mishneh Torah, who talks about the bracha of Birkat Hamazon, something that we did say, but he does add one more piece that I felt it's important for you to know. He says, Mitzvah taseh mina Torah lebarech achar achilat mazon. It's a positive commandment from the Torah to say a blessing after the eating of a meal. Shne'emar, and he quotes our pasuk, ve'achalta ve'savata uverachta et Hashem Elohecha. So again, like we said, this is the source of the Birkat Hamazon from the Torah. But he writes, ve'eno chayav min haTorah ela im ken sava. Because the Torah only obligates you to say Birkat Mazon when you are full, because that's what the pasuk says. Ve'achalta ve'savata, right? And you will eat and you will be full, and only after you'll be full, uberachta, will you have to bless. So according to the Torah, it's only when you're full do you have to bless. Shneimar ve'achalta ve'savata berachta. The rabbis came and expanded this law, and he says, "Umidivrei sofrim." But according to the Chachamim, the sages, achal afilu kezait mevarech alav. Even if a person ate as much food, bread, we're talking about the size of an olive, which is about 28 grams, mevarech acharav, then you still say a bracha birkat hamazon, and that is how we hold today. Today, you don't have to eat enough bread to make you full. You to say Birkat Hamazon. You just have to eat a kazait. You have to eat a 28 grams of bread, and that is enough. That will make bring you the obligation to say Birkat Hamazon.